The studio owners I work with often bring up to me a challenge that they face in filling their classes on their schedule for anyone who is not the studio owner themselves. When you grow your studio business, you're going to have to hire teachers. You can't teach every class or session on the schedule. So it's important to learn how to make your clients comfortable and even excited about taking classes with other people on your teaching team. Today's episode is going to discuss 3 specific ways to fill your class or session schedule, no matter who is teaching the class. Well, hi there, I'm Seran Glanfield. I'm a business and marketing strategist just for boutique fitness studio owners like you. If you're ready to be inspired and make a bigger impact, you're in the right place. All you need are a few key strategies, the right mindset, and some support along the way. Join me as I share the real-life insights that will help you grow a sustainable and profitable studio. This is the Pilates Business Podcast. Welcome back to the Pilates Business Podcast. I'm Seran, and I'm thrilled that you're here with me again today. This week, and this is a topic I will have to say that comes up very, very often. I was talking with a studio owner about the schedule. And she's a studio owner that has 3 or 4 teachers teaching for her. One of them is relatively new. And she's come up against, the studio owner, I should say, has come up against a common problem, which is that her schedule is jam-packed and she has a wait list. But she can't fill the sessions of her newer teacher on the schedule. And this is something that comes up very often. If you have a growing studio business, the chances are that you have faced this challenge as well. A challenge that comes along when you're adding people to your business and you want to see their sessions as filled as yours, right? And what happens is that the clients who are used to taking their sessions with you or their classes with you might resist a little bit trying out your new teacher. And this often means that those teachers have low capacity and your teaching capacity is fully booked, right? And very frustrating for you. And it also creates a lot of pressure on you as perhaps the studio owner to teach more and more and more and open up more and more slots on your schedule. And this can actually hinder your growth in the long term, because as you move your focus from away from the business and onto teaching, your business might suffer, honestly. So we want to make sure that you as a studio owner is doing a little bit of what you enjoy doing. You're doing a little bit of focusing on the business. You're doing a little bit of focusing on your teaching. But if all of your time is focused on teaching, then you will not have time to focus on the business side, which we know is incredibly important if you want to see your business growing. So we want to make sure that you're adding capacity to your business outside of your own teaching hours, which usually looks like adding more people to your team. And when you have a new teacher come onto your team, it's very, very, very rare that they step into a full schedule, right? Often they may bring clients with them. You may give them clients of their own, or they may be stepping into someone else's schedule. But oftentimes there are a few hours on their schedule that need to be filled. And it can be very hard, especially when you're working one-on-one in appointment-based businesses and session businesses, where to move clients from one teacher to another. Now, we talk about this a lot inside of my Thrive group coaching program, where we talk about all the ways to build and develop your business. And everything from looking at your numbers to hiring to filling classes to getting new clients in to how to price your intro offer. We cover it all. But this is a topic that comes up often. And there are a few kind of strategies that I would encourage you to consider if you find yourself in this situation. Okay. And I wanted to share them with you today because I think this is something that we can all do. You can do in your studio relatively simply and very relatively easily, that will help to perhaps fill in those gaps, which is what I want for you. I want a nice, full, thriving studio business for you. Okay. So the strategies I'm going to share with you today actually all revolve around how you talk about your teachers and how you present them to your clients. And I think this is kind of important to to mention to you first of all before I dive in, because when you start to hire people into your business, your focus might need to shift from perhaps what you have been doing to build and grow your schedule to actually be thinking about the entire studio schedule as a whole. And that is a mindset shift that really has to happen before you can be successful at filling another teacher's schedule. You have to see every spot on the schedule as belonging to your studio business, not as belonging to each individual teacher. So if you've been focusing just on your schedule up until now and you want to grow the schedule of another teacher, you want them to have a full roster of clients and no gaps in their schedule, then as the business owner, it really does fall on your shoulders to take responsibility for filling the schedule of the business. Okay. So we want to make sure that you are aware of the way that you are talking about your teachers, introducing your teachers to clients, and how presenting them to clients. And this comes in the form of the content that you're sharing with your clients and your followers, as well as the things that you can do in person while you're inside the studio having conversations with your clients. Okay. At the end of the day, after I've shared all of this with you, I want you to take away from this the following, which is that all your clients need to know, like, and trust your teachers, and just as much as they know, like, and trust you in order for these strategies to be successful. Okay? So let's dive in. Strategy number 1 for filling your teachers' schedules. Number 1, create great instructor profiles. All right. Now, you might have some instructor profiles on your about page on your website, or maybe you haven't quite gotten to it yet because you've been so busy teaching. Very, very common. Either way, having a great instructor profile is a great way to make sure that all of the best things about your teachers are shared with your clients. And one way your clients are going to get to know and to trust and to like your teachers before they've met them is through what you are sharing about them in your emails, on your social media posts, on your website, and maybe even on the wall inside the studio. And so to do this effectively, you'll want to create great instructor profiles that really highlight the talents and expertise that your teachers have. So first of all, you're going to want to highlight their qualifications, share their education, their certifications, and their experience in teaching. This can give potential clients more confidence in your teachers. You also want to share their teaching philosophy. What we know as teachers and what you know as a studio owner is that every teacher has their own approach to teaching. They have their own style, their own pace, their own cues, their own energy that they bring to their sessions. And so in order for your clients to perhaps manage their own expectations, or in order for you to perhaps manage their expectations, you might want to share with your clients that philosophy of your teachers. Well, how do they think about their teaching? And alongside that, showcase their personality. What makes them unique? Do they have a sense of humor or a very calming presence? Highlighting their personality can also help potential clients feel more connected to them. Your clients have their own needs for their sessions as well. And some, putting people together, it may or may not be a good fit energetically. And in order to have a successful relationship between your clients and your teachers, that energy has to fit well. And so we want to make sure that perhaps there's some element of your clients perhaps finding their right teacher for them if they understand what that energy feels like and what their personality is. You might also want to share any specialties. So if your teachers specialize in working with a specific type of client, maybe beginner clients or athletes or folks who have certain perhaps who are runners or who have some back problem or shoulder problems, or perhaps if there is someone who is specialized in pre or postnatal work. Highlighting their specialties can attract those particular clients who are looking for that particular support, right? And then you always, always, always want to include some kind of a personal touch. So share a little bit about their personal interests or their hobbies to help the potential clients get to know them better. Maybe they enjoy cooking or hiking. You want to share that in their profile, okay? Now, a great instructor profile and putting it together is not that challenging, right? But what I often see is that these instructor profiles just tend to gather dust at some back corner of the website. And it's no surprise that when you're trying to fill the schedule of another teacher, your client might not even know that teacher exists if they don't overlap in their sessions or their times with that particular teacher. And so you're going to want to make sure that you are highlighting your different teachers to your client base on a regular basis. So talking about them in your emails, talking about pulling some of the content out of these bios in those emails or on social media will help to raise awareness for who else is on your teaching team. Because if a client comes in at 10 a.m. and your new teacher, Judy, teaches only on Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m., then their paths just aren't going to cross, right? So it's important for you to take the opportunity and be proactive about making sure that all of your clients are aware of who else is on your team and why you are excited about them being a part of your team and a part of your studio. So having a great instructor profile and then sharing that amongst your clients is something I would highly recommend you do. The second thing, which is really important, and that is to train your teachers to deliver on your brand promise. Now, one of the reasons that clients may hesitate to take a class with any other instructor other than you is because they may not think that they're going to have the same amazing experience and the results that they have come to expect from working with you. And sometimes that may well be the case, but oftentimes it's not, okay? And what we tend to, what we don't want to do is we don't want to create a big divide and a big gap between perhaps you, the studio owner, and the incredible talents and expertise that your other teachers have. And so in order to bridge the gap, perhaps between the experience your clients have and the way that you teach, experience your clients have with other teachers and the experience that they have with you, is by training everyone to meet a minimum standard. And so the key to overcoming any hesitation amongst your clients that may come up from differences in experience is to make sure your teachers are aware of how you want your clients to feel during their sessions and the experience you want them to deliver. And all of that stems from your brand promise. So you're going to want to train your teachers on what your brand promise is. You may want to train them on how you want them to structure a session or a class. You may want them to shadow you while you teach. You may want them to you may want to shadow them a little bit. You may need to spend some time and invest some time in training them or mentoring your teachers in order for them to sort of create that same experience that you want them to deliver to your clients and that you already deliver to your clients. So for a little bit more information, if you're not familiar with brand promise, if you haven't really thought about that, I'd encourage you to go back to episode number 97, where I share 5 tips for building a standout studio brand. And when you have a solid brand and all of the things that go into that, which includes having a really solid brand promise, it really does help. It's kind of the foundation, the root, I would say, of delivering a very consistent experience for your clients. So consider listening back into that episode and thinking about, what your brand is really all about, what you want your brand to be about, and how you can create consistent experiences for your clients when they work with other members of your team. The third strategy, which is one of my favorites, and I think the most proactive thing that you can do when you want to fill the schedules of your other teachers, and that is to take classes or sessions with those teachers in full view of your clients, and then talk to your clients afterwards about your experience with that teacher. Okay. So it's a little bit like doing some internal PR work, right? But what you're going to be doing is you want to get clients excited about your teacher, and you want them to see your team and your teachers on your team in just the same light as they see you, in which case it really is kind of up to you to shine the spotlight on them. So to get your clients excited about another teacher other than you, take your teacher's class alongside your clients. And then after the class, talk to the clients about what you loved, about what they did in the class, how good it felt, and how excited you are for this teacher to continue teaching, okay? Talk about how great you feel every time you teach this teacher's class, and remind your clients that you brought this teacher into your community for a reason. And that is that you love what they do and that what they give to your clients. And this strategy has the added benefit of giving you the opportunity to really experience your teacher yourself, and maybe even to provide a little feedback about areas that might need to be tweaked or more in line with your brand promise. Okay, so I really encourage you to be very proactive about the way that you present your new teachers or other teachers on the schedule to your clients, because your clients are on your schedule and don't want to leave your schedule because they trust you. And it's really important for you to encourage them to trust other people on your team in order for them to feel comfortable perhaps moving into their schedules or taking one of their classes. Okay? So there you have it. I think there's 3 great ways that you can go about highlighting the amazing teachers that are on your team and filling their schedules and encouraging your clients to try their classes, or perhaps transitioning your clients into taking private sessions with them. Studio owners with growing businesses do often run up against this challenge. It is really, really common. And there are quite a lot of other things you can do as well that will help you to elevate the way your clients might see those other teachers. But overall, the goal is, with these strategies and all of the others that I share inside of my Thrive group coaching program with the studio owners inside there, is to get your clients to know, like, and trust not just you, but all of the teachers on your team, so that no matter who is teaching, they feel safe, they feel comfortable, they feel excited, and they know they're going to get a great experience. So I hope this was helpful to you as you go about building your boutique fitness business. If you loved what you heard today, I'd be so appreciative if you could take a quick minute, go and review this podcast. It will mean a ton to me. It really does. And it really does help to get this podcast out into the community so that more teachers and more studio owners can learn and be inspired, feel encouraged, and get supported on their journey in our industry.